Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a get ready with me, and also during my get ready with me, I'm going to be talking with you guys about positive psychology, power of manifestation, and how I sort of learned about these things and sharing my knowledge and experience with you guys. Especially as a grad in psychology, I've picked up on a lot of things and I want to share that with you guys. So if you guys are interested, then definitely let's keep on watching. Okay guys, let's dive into it. I wanted to talk about positive psychology and manifestation for a while now. I just didn't know like the format of doing it. I know a lot of people like they sit in their cars and they film it, but I just felt like I didn't know how to I don't know, I just felt like that wasn't true to me to just sit in a car and do a lecture. So I wanted to just do it in an informal way again through doing like a get ready with me. And if you guys want to like listen to it as a podcast, you can do your things and have this playing in the background speaking to you about it, anything, because I feel like I can feel more comfortable by doing something that I like, which is makeup, while also talking about something that's important to me as well. I guess we'll start with like where I learned about positive psychology. I was first introduced to positive psychology from my own therapist. Growing up, I did a lot of mindfulness, and at the time I didn't really know what it was. I was just sort of doing it, and I was like, especially with breathing exercises, especially if you are someone who has anxiety, like breathing exercises, they're your lifeline. They help you a lot. That's sort of where I learned about positive psychology, is like mindfulness area. But as I got more into my therapy classwork and everything, I emphasized in health, which like is like health and positive psychology combination sort of thing. So I've been learning, I still have one class to take, but I've been learning a lot more. I realized that, oh, like what I was doing when I was like a kid in therapy, like that's something that like that's positive psychology, and that's something that I'm really passionate about, and I hope to like show that to my future client. Even if you don't have any like disorders or anything, like positive psychology is something that is talked about a lot in different like cultures, different religions, but in various different ways. And so I think it's really interesting how we might not even know that we're using positive psychology, because it's just such a like, I think it's slowly becoming a lot more mainstream, which is great. So I guess I'll sort of talk about what positive psychology is for me and the important things that I've learned about it, so I can share it with you guys, because positive psychology is like a really like, it's like there's a lot, but I'm going to talk about things that I think are really helpful, which is like manifestation, which is something that I learned from my class last summer, and something that I've been trying to implement into my life for the last like 3 years even. But just knowing the psychology behind it, I think really helps you grasp it a lot more and understand like its benefits, like psychologically and behaviorally and like physically. In my class, we had to do like mindfulness meditation like as one of our homework assignments for the entire school year, for the summer class. And as someone who's done it in the past, I was like, oh, okay, this can be easy and like it's great. But it's like, mindfulness is honestly one of the hardest things ever. It's not only about breathing, but it's also about like trying to get rid of all the external thoughts. Like you're basically trying to get into this headspace where you're not even thinking about anything, you're just present in the moment. Like you just focus on your breathing. Like you're not supposed to be stressed about like homework, assignments, friend problems, relationship problems, anything. You're just supposed to be soaking in like how you feel, like it's just supposed to be this automatic process basically. So it's such a hard thing to grasp, and I've never even gotten to that point yet. Like there will be times where I'm trying it and I'm like, oh, like I'm just trying to focus on my breathing, and then like a thought comes in, and it's like definitely a learning curve. Like obviously I haven't learned it yet. First, a lot of people who have anxiety, like if you have anxiety, you know that when you're like, it is, a lot of it can be mental, like you're just doing it to yourself. At least that's how it is for me, where I'm just like focusing so much on the external environment that I forget I'm breathing. And that's where like your heart rate picks up, obviously, because your body is trying to pump more like oxygen to your brain, like it's trying to self-regulate and everything. And that's like something I've noticed is that when I'm anxious, I'm not even like thinking about breathing, or if I do, it's either really erratic or I'm just not breathing at all. So if you guys are the same, like whenever you feel yourself getting to that point of like, oh, I'm so anxious, like, oh my god, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so stressed, like, it's hard, it's definitely a learning curve. But what I found is that I take that minute and I'm like, okay, wait, am I breathing? And I just do like a self-check on myself, and I'm like, okay, if I'm like, okay, I'm not really breathing properly, I'm not like breathing in a normal way that I'm supposed to be breathing, like, I'm gonna take some time now and just take a few deep breaths. And even those three deep breaths, like, you're gonna feel a lot better with just those as well. I know it sounds so cheesy, like, honestly, like when I was reading in the textbook and like when I was a kid, like learning about it in therapy, I was like, this is so weird, like this is not gonna help me, like this is so cheesy and corny, like deep breaths is not gonna solve my problems. And like, yeah, sure, it's not gonna solve your problems, but you're not gonna like hurt yourself or like feel anxious trying to solve the problems. Do you know what I mean? Like hurt your body by like not breathing, by like being more anxious, putting extra stress on yourself, like things like that basically. So in this class I also learned a lot about gratitude, which is a big part about positive psychology, and just like manifestation in general. Because if you're not grateful for what you have in your life already, how are you going to expect to get more positive and abundant things in your life if you're just in that negative mind space of like, no, I have nothing to be grateful for, like, but I want this, you know what I mean? So like when I saw that in my class, I was like, this is so like amazing, like I love it, like it's so applicable to your life to just be on this higher frequency. Like it sounds so like hippie. So with gratitude, there's like a lot of different ways that you could even like incorporate it into your life. Like what my professor taught me is like to write 3 things at the end of your day about what you liked about today, or happy moments, things like that. And you'd be surprised, like I know again it sounds so cheesy, but you'd be surprised at like how many good things happen in your day that you're just not aware of, or you're not even like, you know, like you just take for granted. Or like it could be even like things like as simple as, I'm grateful that today I was happy and healthy, like, you know, like it could be something that you just take for granted on like being like, you know, healthy and like happy and everything. The more you do it, you pick up things that you're like doing in the day that make you actually happy, and that is like creating such a positive like aura and vibe around you that you wouldn't have noticed before, if that makes sense. And I've been trying to like manifest, you know, practice gratitude and like be in this like higher frequency and wavelength for like a really long time. And like I found it's like best, like in the beginning I was sort of trying to force it, because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna write down things that might be making me happy, and like, okay, now I'm expecting more happiness and abundance in my life. But it's like, no, you actually have to like mean it and do it like in this automatic setting in your life where you're just like, I'm happy, I'm healthy, now I'm gonna let that go into the universe. Like you're not like, okay, I'm happy and healthy now, where's like my like Range Rover, you know what I mean? Like you have to be just like accepting of like how you are and what you're like, where you are right now in your life, and like be like, yes, I'm like seeing all these positives in my life, even if my life's not perfect, like I'm seeing these positives and I'm grateful for even just these positives. And once you put that into the universe, you're putting yourself in this area where like, I'm accepting of all these things, and like I'm happy and grateful for these things, and like I'm content with where I'm at right now. Obviously I have motivations and future aspirations, everything, but like that's not the end all be all. Like I'm not going to be a materialistic person, like grateful for all these things. And you're like creating this big open-minded field for like more things to come into your way. Guys, I'm doing construction like in the backyard, and I have my window open because I'm like trying to like have good lighting for you guys, and there's like people walking by my window. This is so awkward. They just see me recording. Oh my god. So yeah, that's what I noticed is like in the beginning I wouldn't even notice, like in the beginning I felt like it wasn't working, but then once you start just doing it without this like ulterior motive sort of thing, like you realize like the things that you wanted in the past, they do come to you once you let it go, like into the universe. Like it sounds so cheesy and so like, but it goes along with what I learned like in my psychology class. It's like anything that I wrote, like for example, like 3 years ago I would be going on like dates and stuff, and I'd be like, okay, this is gonna be my boyfriend, like I need a boyfriend right now, like this is gonna be my future husband, blah 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 blah. But then like I was like, no, you know what, I'm just gonna, and this is what happened like with my boyfriend of like 3 years now. I was like, I'm just gonna go into this date like positive vibes. If it works out, it works out, but if it doesn't, it's okay, it's not the end of the world. Like if it's meant to be, it's gonna be meant for me, and if it's not, then obviously there's other things out in the universe for me. Versus the other dates, I'd be like, this is it, like he's perfect, blah blah blah, and it's like, then I was creating these unrealistic expectations and like thought, like closed-minded perspective in my head that this is the reality that I'm only gonna be accepting. So obviously sometimes that wouldn't work out, you know what I mean? And then like with my boyfriend, I just went into it very open-minded, and like I put it out into the universe. I was like, I just want someone great, like happy, fun, like relationship, someone who's going to be there for me, all these positive qualities and everything. And I just put it out there, no expectations on it being like, on it happening with my boyfriend, like with like, you know, nothing. I was just like, I just want this now, and if it's him, great, if it's not, it's not. Just put it out into the universe, and like now we're still together after 3 years. Like it just happens naturally, because when I put it out into the universe, I sort of forgot about it because I was just focusing on the present moment, which is another thing about positive psychology and manifestation. Always be in the present moment. And I was just focusing on the moment. I wasn't thinking about, oh, but I wrote this down and I need that to happen like now, like I manifested, I wrote this down in my journal, like I need this to happen, blah blah blah. But no, I just went into the date, and I was like, went into all the dates with him, like, you know, like very like open-minded, very like, okay, if it happens, it happens, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Sorry guys, I have to go off camera to finish my lashes, but onto the lips now. But and then now I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years, and it's like all the qualities that I wanted in the past and I was manifesting, like my boyfriend has right now. So it's like you have to sort of go in with the mindset of like, if it's gonna happen to me, like it's gonna happen, and I want these. You have to be really grateful for like what you have and very open-minded, because like sometimes the universe will like give you something that you thought you didn't want, but then it's like that ends up being like what you actually needed in the first place. A good example of that could be like college acceptances, like your dream schools, and then you didn't get into your dream schools and you go to another school, but then it's like you end up loving your new school that you're going to, and everything works out, your career, future aspirations, all that works out, and it's like the universe is going to give you what's going to benefit you. So you just have to sort of trust it, and obviously you have to put in the work too. Like don't go into that mindset of like external responsibility, like external locus of control, like, oh, like the universe is gonna do it, so I'm just gonna sit back and not do anything. Like you have to put in the work too. I've been like talking so fast, and I hope it's not so confusing, and there's people watching me make this video. But that's just what I've learned with gratitude and like positive psychology, and like things that I've been trying to incorporate, especially in my profession. Like I'm gonna have to practice a lot of self-care, and like a good way to do that is remember the positive in my day, remember like what makes me happy, and continue doing that, and put out goals in my future, like, but be open-minded and be like very like curious to what comes your way, and like, you know, embrace any change, as scary as it might be. I'm not sure how I feel about red lips with the red dress. I don't know. But yeah, this is the final makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I know, like, I feel like I talked about a lot, but I hope it was informative in some way, and you guys were able to take one thing away from this video. If you guys want more videos like this, definitely comment down below. I'd love to do more about psychology related videos and just like share my experience with you guys as a grad in psychology. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Hope to see you guys in my video for next week. Bye.